Good evening. I just wanted to show a deck that arrived today. This is a little unusual because basically this is the first deck, well, tarot deck, that I've gotten printed from one of those companies that does print on demand. So the cards you're about to see are from a place called MakePlayingCards. I'll show the box in a second. But this is what I made the backs look like, which is something I doodle a lot. I don't know if you can see all of it in this lighting. The sun's, excuse me, the sun's kind of setting, but there's a frog and he's on, what, a lily pad or some sort of pad in a pond. And there's a bug going across in the sky up there and he's thinking about it. And I think this is, it's either Japanese, Chinese, but it's like a Zen Buddhist kind of art. Typically you see this, like a lot of those paintings and ink drawings they do. It's like a lot more canvas than it is picture. And for some reason I've always liked those. I've especially always liked this one. I see it applying to a lot of things, at least in my life. I'll say it that way. But let's turn it over because I got 2 extra cards. I got 80 cards instead of 78. And I chose, well, you can't really choose the back. You can make a back or just have it a solid color. But I grabbed one of the images from, these images are from Wikipedia. It says it's the 1909 Pam A. Rider-Waite-Smith. I guess at that time that had just been Rider-Waite. I don't know. I don't know all that. I got to do more research on that topic. But that's what I chose for the back. And I did draw this using the iPad Pro and Procreate. That's too many pros in a row, isn't it? But it turned out better than I thought it was going to, actually. They are darker than they should be. I got that wrong, but let's look at the Fool card up close here, if it'll show up. And I cleaned them up because the images online, they're skewed and cockeyed and they're a little off. They're also from a very dirty deck. I think they're Holly Volley. And what these are basically is when my grandmother first gave me a Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck, she removed the numbers and the text, no names on them, and she gave them to me kind of piecemeal over time. I got this, that, and the other card, and eventually had the whole thing. And her idea is, she's more about the people involved in tarot reading than the actual cards, the tools, the mechanics of it. Or she was. She's no longer with us. But so that's, if I could say anything, that's who mentored me and how I learned to read tarot, if you want to call it that. I'm more into reading people, I guess, or myself, but you can see I cleaned the card up a lot, and I still can't find the signature down here, but that's a whole other topic. But I didn't correct various things that I thought should be corrected, and you can see this is the Fool with the thinner legs. There are Fools with chunky legs, but that's, again, that's for a whole other video. Let me show the details about this card. Like I say, it's from MakePlayingCards.com, I guess. It's the 1909 Pam A images with no text and no numbers. It's 330 GSM, German finish, and superior smooth. Their English is a little weird. It's a black core. It's matte finish. And it comes in one of these. You've probably seen them from Duck Soup Productions if you get cards from that place and other places. Several decks from Etsy have had these tuck boxes and came in the box. I'll show in a second. And I just said I put the Zen picture on the back, and I got 2 extra cards. One of them is, I'll show in a second. I showed the crackle back, and yes, it's from MakePlayingCards, and that's just a blank card that I have. Here's the other card that I got, the back again, and I found a picture of, it's all over the place, but a picture of Pamela Coleman Smith. I wanted to put Arthur Edward Waite kind of whispering in her ear over here, But I couldn't find a picture that was turned correctly, and when I tried to turn it, it came out wrong. And the picture of him I kind of liked. He looked like Doc Holliday, because it was a young picture of him with a mustache. I don't know. Anyway, I had a dream once from this picture that the reading that she has there is foretelling that she's going to get cheated out of money for doing this project. But you can see what she's pointing to, that card that's kind of controversial sometimes. The sun card, which we'll get to in a second. So let's get this out of the way and zoom out, because they're better zoomed out, right? And get the hourglass out of there, because time's flying. Yeah, but here you see the 3 rows of 7. And I'm not sure why I'm letting you get a good look at them, because it's not like you can purchase it or anything. I cleaned up this dude's hair pretty nice, because to get rid of the numbers you have to make some changes. Like there, I got rid of the squiggle on the sun. But then I noticed that she's very exact in a way. So I should have put a vertical sun ray and then 2 squiggle sun rays. And what I just said is a hint as to what I suspect happened with that squiggle. But that's for another video. Nobody cares about this kind of stuff. And notice I faded out the face on the sun, because I've never liked that super intense staring celestial bodies with faces. Same thing for the moon. Kind of faded it out, or turned down the opacity, or whatever you call it. But let's compare that fool to the deck that you can just buy, just about anywhere from US Games. Stewie, Mr. Kaplan. There they are. Compare. You can see it is the same image. Let's get the hourglass back, because I'm not very stable after running so much. Let's do it this way. No, let's do it that way. Just do it. And we'll zoom in so you can see. But basically, they're very similar images, right? Can I move it without dashing them? I'm going to go on and not keep this to a certain time, because I've pretty much explained what it is already. It's just a recreation of cards that my grandmother gave me, because I don't want to use those. They've kind of gotten a little ratty, because I didn't take care of them when I was younger exactly. But you can see mine is a little too dark, perhaps. I could lighten it. I don't know. I'm kind of okay with it, actually. Theirs has kind of got a limey thing going, like it's lime in the rocks. Maybe that's moss. Is that the chunky leg fool? No, he's got thin legs. Okay, let's get that out of there. I just wanted to show that. Oh, sorry. Ugh. And you can see those. I guess you've seen them. But I did quite a bit of cleaning up, and then I stopped because I noticed, well, I kind of like that it's kind of old and dirty. Let me zoom out. Sorry. I did clean up the sky behind her because it was kind of dotty. For some reason, there's a lot of dots in here. And I intensified Miss Pamela Coleman Smith's signature wherever I could. I couldn't in the Fool because I didn't suspect it was there. It's still kind of not there in this particular Pam version. So here comes the wands. And at this point, I believe I had stopped my cleanup because, one, this took several passes. So you got 78 things you have to repeat. One, I had to download the images from Wikipedia, get the largest one I could, download them. I ended up putting them on Google Drive because you get some, 15 gigabytes of free space. Why not put it there? Plus the iPad can grab it from there, that cloud thing. But, so that's one pass, just to get the images down. Then I got to cut them out. Like I got to get rid of the borders, because those cards that are shown on Wikipedia have a white border like this, only thicker actually. Of course, it has her font for text, but I didn't want that, so I had to cut it to get rid of that, get rid of the border, and then I had to get rid of the number on the trumps. So that's, a couple passes right there, and then my third pass was to line it up in the template that MakePlayingCards give you. Since I said that, I remember the box now. That's what they come in. So you've probably ordered cards from somewhere and had this tape on the outside of the box. I could drive over there. It's like 4.5 hours from here. I could have drove over there and picked them up. But I really wasn't in that big a hurry. But I do have another set of the exact same thing, but being done through the Game Crafter, just to have a compare. But they don't let you choose your, or I couldn't find a way to choose different cardstock. So the ones coming from the Game Crafter are a lesser cardstock. They're not this 330 GSM German blah 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 blah. This is pretty nice. It's a bit, plastic has found its way into everything. There's just a bit too much of it in there. Moon got dialed down a few notches. At least the face part. And here are the swords. And while doing this, I noticed several things. Another one I can add to my, if you want to call it a series, the CSI series. And I think that would be it. I can't think of anything else that I've noticed over the years. Here are the pentacles. This took a lot of cleaning up. This card was in bad shape. And this one too, one of my favorite. And this one just had a big old section ripped right out of it. I had to redraw that as best I could. You can still kind of see I got the color wrong. But that iPad Procreate thing makes it so easy. I feel like an advertisement for it. I'm not really. I mean, if you don't draw, you don't care, right? There was a line through this one, and in places there are dots, and I didn't catch them all. And I'll give you a hint here as to why this card is unique. Silliness. But that was a quick show of the deck that arrived today. I guess I can put the box in there. We can stick Pamela on there. We can turn, oops, we can't use that card. We'll have to use this one because I like the frog. And that's the box that came in. And I'll just put that right there. That looks pretty good. Now, Pam, you get up here. So that looks pretty good. So with that, I will say peace.